Hello everyone and welcome to part 2 of painting on Pantone postcards. Today I'm going to be working on Desert Sand and Blossom. Before I begin, be sure to like and subscribe and let's see what I can come up with. I started off with the Blossom postcard, and for this one, maybe it's kind of obvious, I'm letting the names inspire me again, so I'm going to do some of those Japanese cherry type blossoms and take inspiration from those beautiful flowers and create those on this postcard. I started off by creating some branches that the flowers are going to be on, and I kept doing that until I had a full variety of branches that I could decorate with flowers. And then I got started with a mixture of pink and white and created some flower shapes on top of the branches everywhere that I thought was fit for this piece. I kept on going with that until I had covered the branches everywhere that I wanted to and covered as much of the paint swatch as I wanted to. I really like to leave the original color of the paint swatch open because otherwise you could just paint on anything and make it any colors you wanted and you wouldn't even be able to see the paint swatch underneath, and for me that takes a lot of the fun out of it. I wanted to leave room so that you could see the original color of the paint, so that will be the background, and then I covered as much of it as I wanted with this color to be the base for all of my flowers. At this point, it was pretty much just looking like pink and white blobs, so I decided to move on to adding a little bit of. To give the flowers even more shape, I then decided to take that same red color and go around the flowers to give them a little bit of their own shapes, like they were all blending together, which was just not the look I was going for. So to give it a little more definition and so you could see where each flower individually was, I decided to go around them and outline them. And then I did this even more later just so you could really see the shape of each flower and each petal of each flower, because it's still looking pretty blob-like right now, and that's not really the vibe I'm going for. And then I decided to add little bits of red around the outside of the flowers just to add a little bit more decoration and make the piece a little more cohesive, so the flowers didn't just look like they were slapped on top of the paint swatch, but that it all went together. I kind of felt like the pink was blending in too much with the background, so I also decided to go over each flower and outline it with white, so that way it would pop more from the blossom color of the paint swatch, and then you could see all of the flowers a little bit more better even than you could before. I also decided to bring some white into the middle of the flowers, again just to add some more color variation and to make it more distinct from all of the pink that was happening. It was a lot of pink and I like how it turned out, but I think the white really emphasized the places that I wanted to be emphasized and made it so everything didn't just blend in. And then I went in with some more details to really make those flowers look like flowers and add some petals and add distinct layers to everything so that it still, again, didn't just look like pink blobs. After that, I was pretty much done with this postcard, so I took the tape off and set it to the side so it could dry while I started working on the next postcard, which was Desert Sands. And for this one, I also let the name inspire me and decided to do a desert themed landscape. So I started off by doing the sky, and for that I just used some white, and I didn't go over it several times. I wanted the orange to show through because I wanted that to be the main color of this piece. I didn't want, again, to just completely paint over the paint swatch, because then what's the point of having the swatch? You could have just painted on anything. So I decided to start with the sky and just did some white for that again and left it see-through. And I also left these little patterns or texture in there, which I think looks really cool in the end with everything else that I add to. I wanted to do some desert hills, that kind of thing, so I started off on top with this lighter orange color that I made to try and match a shade of the original card, and then I added some of that color in the sky as well just to add even more orange to that because I really want the main color to be orange. And then I left a section open in the center, that way you could see the original color of the postcard in all its glory, no additions, no touch-ups. That's how it looks. And then for the base layer, for the final most towards us part of the sand, I did make it blue just to add some contrast, and I added in some scenery to the landscape too. For the scenery, I added in all of these little cactuses and desert type plants. I don't know much about desert plants, so I'm not sure what these are, but I added just a little bit of wildlife to everything. That way it would fit in the scenery. And at first, I only did this section of blue with some plants, and it just didn't really seem to fit. So I created a shade to match the original card, and I added some wildlife to that section as well. I really like how it's looking now, but I felt like it was still missing something in the sky and that the sky didn't really match the rest. So I took that same orange color that we matched to the original card and put a sun in the sky and added some little sunshine rays. And then I also went in and added some clouds just so you could tell that that was a sky and not just a continued part of the desert hills. After that, this postcard was done too, so I took the tape off of this one, and these are them side by side. I love how they turned out, and I love letting the names of these challenge and inspire me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay tuned for the series. That's 4 out of 100, so we'll be back for some more.